Hello and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Okay guys, gather around, let's have a conversation. So, we've got the infamous XRP hack that people are talking about right now, got the whole XRP community in a frenzy. So, obviously I thought I'd discuss this and add my 2 cents in, and to be honest with you, this is the kind of thing here guys, I want this to be a conversation, right? I actually just want this to be more of an open discussion rather than me just telling you what I think and that's the end of it. Because with this, I'm open to discussion here. Like, one thing with me is that I'm always open to other people's ideas and stuff like that, but my only thing is, if you're going to come with ideas, please just present like facts that you can actually use as evidence, or at least some kind of level of credibility to what you're saying. Like, show me things that have gone on that can prove your point, that can back up what you're trying to say. Okay, but before we do start, let's just get one thing out of the way, because this is one thing that I think a lot of people have got mixed up here. XRP has not been hacked, okay? A personal wallet has been hacked. Now, some people might say, yes, we know it's not Ripple. I'm not even talking about Ripple. I'm not talking about Ripple at all. Some people think that XRP has been hacked. Now, if XRP has been hacked, that would be the XRP ledger, right? That would mean somehow they've managed to exploit the code in the XRP ledger and then just drain funds. That's not what's happened here. Someone's personal account, someone's personal wallet has been compromised. There's a very big difference here, because when you've got a personal wallet, that could be anything. Like, so for example, you could have a ledger wallet. That's got nothing to do with XRP. Now, yes, you're holding an XRP wallet within that ledger, but that's got nothing to do with the XRP ledger, right? That's just the personal wallet being compromised. So, for example, if I had a ledger wallet and I had my seed phrase just lying around and someone happened to find my seed phrase, they could then use my seed phrase and take out all my XRP and sell it off and get away with it, right? That's got nothing to do with the XRP ledger. That is me being bad with my security, being lazy, and it leading to it being compromised. That's the seed phrase and the wallet being compromised. It's got nothing to do with XRP. And we need to make that clear distinction here, because a lot of people are saying XRP has been hacked, which is completely wrong. The XRP ledger has not been hacked. XRP has not been hacked. A wallet has been compromised. Very distinct difference, and we need to make sure that's clear, because this is the kind of thing that will scare people, and it's the kind of thing that will lead to bad financial decisions, right? Like, we've already seen how the market has reacted to this, and this is because the market, for the most part, when it comes to retail holders, they're very fickle, right? It doesn't take a lot to scare them. It doesn't take a lot to get them pumped up. It's one of those things. They just see the headlines and just react blindly without even trying to get any further information. They just see something negative and that's it. They just jump off the hill, right? So that is the thing that we need to make sure that is understood here, because this really doesn't affect XRP in that way. Now, is it not good? Of course not. It's not good at all, because at the end of the day, this is a lot of money that we're dealing with here in terms of Chris Larsen, because it was Chris Larsen's account that was compromised. And that money being dumped off is obviously going to affect the market. So I'm not trying to say like this doesn't affect us in any way in terms of price. Of course it does. Someone selling that much volume of XRP in such quick succession is obviously going to have selling pressure on the price. So of course it's going to impact it, right? But my thing here is there's nothing wrong with XRP in of itself. That's the main thing that I'm trying to say here. It seems to me, and I'm not going to say with Chris Larsen that he's been careless, because the truth is I just don't know, right? I've got no idea how this happened, and this is something that I think it would be good if we could get more information. Now, is he going to be willing to give that information up? I don't know, because that's his private business, right? He may not feel comfortable giving everybody his personal information on how he was protecting himself, because, you know, this is the kind of thing that might open him up to more hacks, right? Like if he says, this is what I was doing, well then from a hacker's perspective, they might be able to get that information and again try and use that against him in the future. Or it's something that they know for future reference that other people may use. So for example, if Chris Larsen's doing it, maybe David Schwartz is doing the same things, and then they say, okay, well, let me try and get David Schwartz's address, and we'll try attacking his wallet and see if we can compromise his wallet. So it's one of those things where I'm really on the fence in terms of how I look at this, to be honest with you. Yes, I don't think it's great. I don't. But at the same time, am I really blaming Chris here? It's hard to blame him when I don't really know what's happened, right? If this was really something that was very careless and he just, let's say, just clicked on a suspicious link, for example, something silly like that, I would be thinking, well, Chris, like, for someone who's in the crypto space, someone so high in the crypto space, I would expect better, to be honest. But if this is a thing where, you know, he's done everything he can, the thing that he fell for, you know, like, because this is the thing, guys. What we've got to understand here with this, Chris is human, right? Like all of us. And people get hacked all the time. They do. Like, people fall for this kind of stuff. Like, people fall for suspicious links. People fall for the Brad Garlinghouse video that come on YouTube videos now about the airdrops and stuff like that. People are falling for this kind of stuff. We're human. In the right circumstances, people can fall for things. So in a certain sense, I don't know what Chris exactly has done here for his account to be compromised. I've got no idea. Has he clicked on a suspicious link? I don't know. Has he just been careless and just left his seed phrases lying around? I really have no idea. I don't know. And this is where it's hard to really judge this completely, because we really don't know the full circumstances of the situation. Now, one thing I will say, and this is the thing that I did also want to address, is that, you know, a lot of people getting to the point there where they're saying, hey, this just seems too weird, too suspicious. And they're thinking that this is all, you know, an excuse for Chris to basically dump on the market, that kind of thing, or this was planned to basically promote Metico, to promote custody, that kind of thing. And I want to get into that as well. So I will just go through the article and then we'll discuss this a bit more. I'm not going to do the whole article because they're just main points that I want to address that's going to help with us discussing this a little bit further, okay? So let's go through this. Chris Larsen, the executive chairman of Ripple, has officially confirmed a recently reported hacking incident, but clarified that the breach impacted his personal XRP account and not that of Ripple. Yesterday, on-chain sleuth Zach XBT reported that malicious actors had hacked a Ripple account, leading to a loss of over 213 million XRP, worth 112.5 million. Zach XBT noted that the hackers laundered the assets through different exchanges, including Binance, Mexi, Gate.io, and Kraken. Ripple account secure. Larsen further clarified that all accounts belonging to Ripple remain secure. Moreover, the ancestry of the impacted address shows it was activated by Larsen in 2013 and not Ripple. Larsen noted that the exploiters swapped the stolen assets from XRP to other cryptocurrencies. The Ripple chairman confirmed that their work with law enforcement has been fruitful, with some of the assets already frozen. According to him, they are looking to freeze the rest of the assets. He expressed gratitude to the XRPL Foundation and its analytics and compliance head Thomas Silja, I've got no idea what that surname is, for their contributions. Meanwhile, Silja, or whatever it is, revealed that he and his team received a tip from leading crypto exchange Whitebit concerning suspicious inflows, prompting an investigation into the implicated accounts. As soon as the situation was grasped, Silja informed Larsen, and Silja, or whatever his name is, informed Larsen, and an intensive 18-hour effort unfolded. Man, why do they keep saying his name so much? Silja, I don't know, confirmed that he collaborated closely with GateHub, exchanging data with the relevant crypto exchanges, Larsen and his team. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. That's the main thing that we've got, really. So this is the thing for me, okay? Because I've got a lot of people now talking about how they think that Chris Larsen just wanted to dump on the market, and this was just a, you know, like a ruse for him to be able to dump on the market. Okay, let me say this so you guys can understand that I am just trying to be completely honest here, because the thing that I don't want you to think is that I'm just being like an XRP maxi or something like that. Like I'm going to be completely objective with how I say this, right? I'm an XRP holder. Am I happy with the price action that has occurred with XRP since the resolution of the lawsuit? Absolutely not. It's not been what we would have expected. You know, it's not great. I'm not selling because I still believe that there's way more upside potential, but we can all admit, if we be honest with ourselves, that it's not been great. Yeah? Okay, cool. So hopefully you can understand that I'm just being honest here when I discuss this. Okay. This is my thing. You hold this crypto because you created it, right? Like you've helped to, you know, bring this crypto to where it is, like even through Ripple, like via Ripple, because obviously Ripple are trying to get partnerships, they're trying to get banks, they're trying to get XRP utilized as a bridge currency. You're helping to try and bring value to XRP, which obviously, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're doing it for us, they're doing it for Ripple, for the business. I completely get that. So I'm not trying to make out like these guys are like fighting a good fight for us. Of course not. They're trying to line their own pockets. But the fact of the matter is, they have created a cryptocurrency that has become successful. Like there's many cryptocurrencies out there that are like startups and stuff like that, which have not been successful, right? So they could have been another failed crypto project, but they're not. They've ended up being a top 10 cryptocurrency with an amazing use case. So thinking about it from that perspective, doesn't he just have a right to sell XRP if he wants to? I don't like it because obviously that would create selling pressure on XRP. So I'm not saying it like, oh yeah, I'm happy for him to do this. Like obviously I would rather he doesn't, but can I really be mad at him for selling something that he made successful? You know, it's like, for example, if I made a huge business that really took off and I decided at some point I want to sell the company, you might have a huge fan base that really love you as like the CEO or whatever of that company. And they might say, you know, we want it for you. Like you're one of the main selling points of this business. But, you know, like if I'm ready to sell and I'm ready to move on or I'm ready to do other things I could just do with the money, I've got every right to do that. Yeah. So whether I like it or not, can I really say that that's wrong of him to do so if he was selling? I don't think we can really say that, just being completely honest, right? If we're just being objective, like that's the XRP that he owns. And he has a right to sell that as and when he wants to, right? Like he's worked towards getting XRP up in value. That's part of his creation. Like, I don't really think we're in a place to criticize if he wants to sell. Now, that's why I think this doesn't seem likely to be a thing that he's just trying to dump on the market. Because in my opinion, I would just say, even if that was the case, what can we do? Like, what position are we in to try and say anything about him selling something that he owns? Like, it's his personal XRP. The same way we've all got our XRP, and when it gets to the right price, we will sell, right? Like, that's what we all have a right to do. So, as much as it might affect us from the price perspective, so it's not great in that sense, are we really in a position to be mad at Chris if he wanted to sell the XRP? So I don't think that's what this is, because in my honest opinion, even if it did stir up a few people being a bit bitter about it, I don't think we'd really be in a position to really say anything anyway. So I don't think Chris would like go through all this just to kind of sell some XRP. That seems a bit extreme to me. So I'm not really in a position here to think that Chris Larsen has done this to secretly sell XRP. I don't really think that is the case. Now, we've got the opposite side of this, where we've got the people who are just trying to find the absolute positive through a negative, and like they're saying that this is all basically as a ruse to promote custody holdings, right? So they'll see all this that's going on, and then obviously Metico's right there and they're going to be providing custody services, and it may make people a bit more scared, thinking, oh, self-custody, you know, maybe I should just get it with Metico and basically have them custody my XRP for me so I feel more safe. I don't agree with that either, to be honest. I don't think they've done all of this as some kind of marketing ploy. Like, I really don't see why this would be any kind of beneficial thing, because, look, let's look at it like this. One thing that's happened now as a byproduct of this whole thing happening, people are scared about Ripple now because they're thinking that Ripple are going to be lax in security as well. So if anything, if people know that Ripple owns Metico, they might be more paranoid to leave their crypto assets with Metico now, because they might be like, well, if Ripple was hacked, which it wasn't, just for the record, Ripple wasn't hacked whatsoever. So we also do need to clarify that. Well, if Ripple was hacked, then, you know, like, why am I going to hold it with Metico? Like, that could be hacked as well. And so this is the problem, right? Now, I know people say like all publicity is good publicity. I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, yes, okay, Ripple's in the headlines, but if it makes you worried and it's damaged the crypto price due to selling pressure and then people panic selling as well, well, XRP is a part of Ripple's business, and obviously they want XRP to succeed, right? And so I'll just quickly move on to this as a byproduct here of this video, just another point that I've wanted to address here just to show you this. Ripple CEO, which is Brad Garlinghouse, slams irresponsible speculation and reporting of the $112.5 million security breach. And again, this is basically him saying he's not happy because the way the media have portrayed it is like Ripple have had a security breach, which they haven't. There's a very big difference between a company's holdings and a person's individual holdings, right? Because with a business, it's not going to be just one person's opinion, right? There's going to be a group effort to say, okay, well, how are we going to secure this? With Chris, there's many ways that your personal wallet can be compromised. If he just doesn't look after his seed phrase good, if he leaves it lying around or something like that, anybody could get access to it, right? Or, you know, it could be, for example, let me just give you just a real wild hypothetical. Let's say Chris Larsen, he's a billionaire. So let's just say he has a personal maid. Let's say Chris Larsen every day has a safe and his seed phrases are in his safe. Every day, Chris Larsen goes into his safe. The maid secretly watches him every day and manages to find out what the access code is to the safe. She then gets access to his safe. She manages to find out what his seed phrases are. She gives the seed phrases on to someone else, like a hacker, and they manage to steal the funds. Just a real brief example there of like how something like this could occur. Now, I really don't know how this hack occurred. I don't know how easy or hard it was, right? I don't know if this was something that was very simple and Chris Larsen was very silly, or if this was like a very, very intelligent ruse that they pulled over him. I really couldn't say. So it's hard to judge in that sense. And that's why I'm saying in regards to Chris, yeah, this isn't great for him falling for something where his funds have, you know, just gone missing the way they have. But again, we don't know how this occurred. So it's really hard to judge because this could have been something that was very, very clever. It could have had a lot of layers to it, right? It could have been something that, you know, me and you, the average person, could have easily fell for, you know. And we have to accept that Chris is human. Yes, he's a billionaire. We get that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he can't fall victim to a scam. It doesn't mean that he can't fall for something and think that it's real, right? Like anybody can fall victim to something. So it doesn't rule him out just because he's a billionaire. You would think he'd be a bit more cautious. I agree. I completely agree with that. But it doesn't rule him out, right? Now, when it comes to a company like Ripple, well, yeah, I think that they're going to handle things very differently because it's not just one person's personal wallet, right? Like it's a business. So there's numerous people involved. And so the way they can try and protect this can be very different because it's not just the onus of one individual. Do you see what I'm saying? And so in terms of how they protect the Ripple accounts, that can be completely different. Like they could make it a thing where each person holds, for example, one part of the seed phrase, and so as a collective, if something happens, they all come together and put the seed phrase together and then they have it, you know. It could be something like that. It could be many different things. So I'm not going to compare Ripple security in comparison to just one individual's security because it really is two different things. So for people saying like, you know, if it's happened to like the chairman of Ripple's accounts, then how do we know how safe Ripple's accounts are? I really don't think that's a good comparison personally, because you can't really judge what one individual does with their personal wallets compared to what a business will do to protect their wallets. And it's a part of the business. Like it's a very different thing. You're going to manage things very differently as a business compared to how you would your personal wallets. Okay, so one other thing I want to just quickly discuss here, because this is another important point that's being made. So people are talking about how long it took for Chris to realize that the funds had been taken. And they're basically using this as a point of reference to say as to why they think this is suspicious, because it took so long for Chris Larsen to realize that the funds had actually been hacked. Now, okay, this is my thing with that, right? I do not check my wallets every day. I don't. That's just the honest truth. I don't know about you guys. Maybe there's some of you guys who do check it every day. I personally don't. And I've got like the app on my phone, so I can just check it through my phone. But I don't just check my funds every day. I will check it every now and again, but there are times where I can go for like a week and I've not even checked my wallet. Because I just believe it's secure. Like, I feel comfortable with how I've managed to secure my account. I don't really do anything security-wise that I would feel uncomfortable with. So I will check it from time to time just to make sure that my crypto assets are safe, but it's not something that I'm feeling like I have to check every day. So when I think of Chris Larsen, who's like a billionaire and, you know, he's a part of Ripple, you know, trying to run a successful business, do I expect him to be checking his wallet every day? Not really. You know, he's a billionaire. So what you've got to think is, even with his XRP holdings, it's not like this is all of his wealth. It's not like he's got his whole life savings in XRP, right? He's got money. He's a billionaire. So when it really comes down to it, is he going to be expected to be checking his wallet every day if I don't check my wallet every day? Do you see what I'm saying? So from that aspect, again, just being fair, like, I'm not really going to knock him for that, because with the amount of things that he has going on in his life, I don't really find it that surprising to think that he didn't see it straight away. Yeah, people are saying like it's a lot of money, but the thing with that is that's relative, right? So 112 million to him, as he's a billionaire, might be the equivalent of like $100 or $1,000 to us, right? Now, don't get me wrong, that's still money. Like, I'm not trying to make out like that's a pittance. No, of course, it's huge money regardless. But what I'm saying is, it's not going to look as big to him as it would to us. If we had that kind of money in a wallet, I'm sure we would be checking it every 5-10 minutes, right? But to him, who's a billionaire, he has money. So this might not be as serious to him as it would be to us, because for us, that would probably be all of our money, right? But when you're a billionaire and you've got more money than that, yeah, it's like, okay, gutted. Obviously, you've lost money. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be in that position. But he's not going to go broke over this. He's still going to be fine. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's the point of what I'm trying to make to you guys. Like, when it's money that you can kind of like afford to lose, I want to say, and I really don't want to trivialize this, because that is a lot of money. But what I'm saying is, like, it's relative to different people. You know, like, if I lost $100 tomorrow, yeah, I wouldn't like it, but I can live with it. It's not going to kill me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to go broke over it. Yeah, I'd be annoyed. I wouldn't like it, because I'd be thinking of what I could do with that money. But it's not something that's going to be the end of the world for me. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think that's the same equivalent to Chris Larsen here. I just don't think the funds are as big of a loss to him as it would be to other people. So that's really my thoughts on this. But look, I've got a lot of people, when I've been reading, you know, on X and stuff, like, a lot of people are saying how they think this is shady. I've seen a lot of people who think that this was done on purpose. They think that this is all part of some scheme. And my thing is this: if that's the case, what do you think the end goal was for this? Do you think it was that Chris just wanted to dump on the market? Do you think that this was that Chris wanted to somehow promote Metaco custody? Because these are the common things that I'm seeing. I don't really see a real logical explanation for either, to be completely honest, because in terms of Metaco, I feel like Ripple have already going to have a stain against them now, even though they've been wrongfully targeted in this, because it really wasn't Ripple, the company, that was hacked. It really was Chris Larsen. And also in regards to him selling, as I said earlier, I think, you know, he has every right to sell if he wants to. So I don't really think this is something that he'd need to do all this to just to sell some XRP. You know, I just think he's got the money. It's his. He has every right to do whatever he wants to do with that money. So I don't really see the argument for that either. But I'm open to suggestions, guys. Like, I'd like to hear people's points on this. I really would like to see what people think about this and what they think the ultimate end goal was in regards to this, if they feel that this was something that's been done on purpose. But yeah, overall, I will just say this. Look, this isn't great, obviously. You know, you don't want someone of this magnitude having this kind of thing happen, and it does affect the price, because, as I said, the retail holders are not doing thorough research to understand what's actually happened here. So they just think this is bad for XRP. It's not bad for XRP. It's really bad for Chris Larsen because he just lost a chunk of money. That's really what's happened here. The XRP ledger has not been hacked, so nothing has gone on there. The XRP ledger is still fine. It's still safe. Ripple hasn't been hacked, so we know that their funds still seem secure as far as we can tell, because I would assume if they had access to Ripple's accounts, they would have tried to drain Ripple's accounts, right? Like, that's got the biggest holding of XRP out of everyone. So for me, this is just a thing of, it's an unfortunate situation, but it doesn't change anything in terms of XRP. It doesn't mean that the XRP ledger is susceptible to hacks or anything like that. This is just someone's personal account has been compromised. And to me, I don't know how it's happened, but clearly that's it's a lack of security. That's the only way I can explain it. So hopefully we'll get more on this, and if more does come through, obviously we'll expand on this video and do an update. But we'll just quickly add as well that I am aware that some of the assets have been frozen, nowhere near compared to the total that was actually taken, but trying to grab anything is better than nothing, right? So at least again, this shows me that it looks like they really have been trying to secure the funds, and they really have been working with the police to try and get these assets back, because they've spoken of exchanges and got the funds frozen. So it does seem like they are being proactive in terms of trying to get the funds back. And again, that to me indicates that they're being honest, like this really was just a genuine hack. So from my perspective, that's all I can really say on this. I think it's just an unfortunate incident, but it doesn't change anything about XRP in my eyes personally. But what do you guys think? Chris Larsen hacked for $112.5 million worth of XRP. Do you think this was done on purpose? Do you think there was actually a hidden agenda behind the hack? And if you do think there is a hidden agenda, what do you think the agenda is? Or do you not agree with that? Do you think that this genuinely is just a hack, and do you think that Chris Larsen has just been quite lax with his security, which has led to a security breach? Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did like it, please remember to drop a comment, like, and subscribe. But until next time, take care.